All right, we'll start off with what do you think of the ancient alien theory and the possibility that aliens have visited this planet before?
Well, that's the question that I delve into for 2 hours this Friday on the History Channel at 9 o'clock from 9 till 11. That very question, which is an overwhelming question, because if aliens did come here, are here, or coming here, and that they exist, means that we're not alone in the universe. And if we're not alone in the universe, if there's other entities, that means there are billions of entities, means that the universe is alive, vibrating with life. And actually, I think that's so. I think the elements of life, which can be chemical, and that the secret to which, bringing it to life, we don't know yet, but must exist somewhere. It's unexplained at the moment. So I think life abounds in the universe. And the universe they think, is 11.8 billion years old, and our galaxy is 5 billion years old, which means somewhere there's 6 billion years went by, and was life created then, and was life created in the 5 billion years that we know about? I mean, the mysteries are so profound, and the meanings are so profound that a fascinating discussion can take place anywhere, and especially it took place between me and a group of people who are authorities on ancient aliens. I had a passionate discourse for 2 hours with them about this very subject.
Yeah,
and let me just explain a little more carefully that this Friday on the History Channel from 9 till 11, this takes place about ancient aliens. Ordinarily, and following next week, a week from this Friday, ordinarily, Ancient Aliens, and then my show, The Unexplained, comes on the History Channel from 8 to 10, 9 o'clock, I think it's 8 to 9, Ancient is 9 to 10, The Unexplained. So I hope that explains The Unexplained.
In the show, do you visit some of those ancient alien sites, or have you been there yourself? For instance, those walls in Punko, and what do you think of some of these places?
Well, you've just mentioned the some of the mysterious things. There are heavy blocks of stone that engineers today, with modern equipment, would have difficulty, or maybe it's even impossible, lifting and transporting. And yet, these ancient civilizations were able to accomplish engineering feats that we don't know how they did it. We, with all our mathematics and our computers, don't know how certain things were done thousands of years ago. And it's that mystery of how the heck did they do that engineering feat wherever it is, and there are many. How did they do it, and did they have help? And that's the line of, that's the rationale.
So since The Unexplained has been on the air, there's been a lot of UFO news going on. The Navy taking it seriously, Senate intelligence wanting more information. What do you make of all that news?
Well, you know, we've all read the account of some guy wandering around in the swamp in Florida saying, I got picked up and I was examined and they put me back. And was, scoffing at it, and probably rightly so. And then you have this Navy footage in which we see weird things, not only on the Navy filmed radar, but on the ground where the Navy Air Force is being guided, they too are getting the same images. This isn't like a glitch happening to a radar screen and it looks like some unknown object. They're filming an objects that make these wide dashes and abrupt changes and even come at them, almost a near collision of some kind, and we see it all on film. There's no question. Didn't somebody sent up some lanterns up there with a light in them, and the people on the ground think, "Oh, look at that, ancient alien." No, this is really weird and unexplained. And it led me to this show, Ancient Aliens, and the experience I had talking to these people who are very knowledgeable scientists who believe that aliens have been here, and my discourse with them, sometimes very passionate. There's a lot of screaming and yelling going on, because it's really, nobody's got a specimen. It's all what happened to the thing in Roswell, and what was that? But it was the light that hit the forest, and the two soldiers come upon something, and they don't know what. It's just there are months in which it's no longer a guy in a swamp, but it's accredited observers, sometimes several of them, looking at something, and there's no explanation for it except perhaps otherworldly.
Now, in Star Trek, of course, Captain Kirk had a hard time following the prom directives, but they did depict, the Federation looking at and studying other intelligent civilizations secretly cloaked. Of course, they got busted a couple times. Do you think that might be going on, that we are being observed, and then once in a while we catch them in the act?
Well, that's the ancient alien theory that you've just enunciated. The ancient alien theory. Are we being observed? But now you go to the mathematics of it. We're the small planet, M planet, a medium-sized, smallish planet, around a medium-sized, smallish star, our sun, in a kind of innocuous galaxy, a solar system, in a kind of average galaxy. And there are billions of these planets, billions of these suns, and billions of these galaxies. Billions, uncountable billions in the universe. Now, are you going to tell me that the elements for life are only on one, which we're told? We are told, and many people believe, that we are the only things alive in the universe. I think that life is an imperative in the universe. I think things are alive all over, whether it's microbial or sophisticated. But if we evolved, excuse me, if we evolved from those elements, why aren't those elements all over the universe? You see these hot spots, volcanic vents in the ocean, which there's thriving with life at 600 degrees Fahrenheit. And life in the ice, microbial life in the ice, temperatures. Why isn't life is an imperative? Life functions everywhere. Life is a force on Earth. Why isn't life a force in the universe? And if so, how sophisticated has it become?
Now, Gene Roddenberry, of course, with Star Trek, created this world where the universe is full of life and civilizations out there. And among these communities who follow this kind of stuff, there are conspiratorial ideas, and one of those is that Gene Roddenberry was aware that the government interacts with alien civilizations. Have you heard that conspiracy theory, and what do you think of it?
No, I don't. Well, I don't know. I mean, there's a lovely mystique to what you've just said. I don't want to disparage it, but I don't think Gene Roddenberry was in touch with ancient aliens. And kept it to himself.
Well, yeah, it's a funny idea.
But these stories that came out of Star Trek, many of them were invented by the great science fiction writers, some of whom were scientists and dealing with scientific stuff in the lab that was new and promising, and then they would extend what they had, like a computer or an internet or a scientific theory, and make a story out of it. And that happened quite frequently. So what was in a lab 50 years ago has become reality now in many cases.
It seems like in a lot of science fiction where the distant future is depicted, it involves us interacting with alien civilizations. It almost feels like it's innate in us somehow to believe that at some point we will be interacting with other intelligent civilizations.
Well, that's what that ancient alien theory is all about. And that's what Friday evening from 9 till 11 on the History Channel is all about. Because it's a small jump from thinking if life abounds in the universe and we're going to go to Mars in the next short time on a very primitive vehicle with spouting all this gas and fire and heat and primitive energy, why wouldn't a more sophisticated civilization have more sophisticated means of energizing? I mean, the universe is filled with energy, light and heat and cold and explosions, and I mean, it's just the energy is alive. The universe is alive with energy. Why wouldn't an intelligent mind harness some of that? And since we can get an argument about what time is, what the existence of time, and how you can bend time, you have an interesting subject for the ancient aliens. That's what I'm telling you is taking place on Friday from 9 till 11 on the History Channel, and then following that, the following week, it goes back to normal, and the UnXplained comes on right after Ancient Aliens on the History Channel, and they're equally fascinating. I urge you to watch.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it. What was it like working with Giorgio and Ancient Aliens?
They were fascinating people, and I love talking to them, and I think you will love hearing it as well. A pleasure to have talked to you. I look forward to the next time.
Great. Thank you so much. This was a big thrill for me. Thank you very, very, very much for taking the time.
It was a pleasure for me as well. Bye-bye.